quick look at all the wonders Central Park. Soulbond coming on forward from Ballas, emboldening the remainder of the team to get aggressive. Binary's going to find themselves isolated during their own ultimate and just carved down by the Lumberjacks. One player gets isolated by the fourth plus. A quick take from Alcatraz.
A lot of stuff, and I feel like that is very present here in motion because Alcatraz have basically just been playing to that hymn sheet and everybody's on the same page. It's looking like the second point is almost about to be taken. Oh my god, it's brutal.
Oh, that's disgusting. Another missionary prison coming
on the fly instead of something that's more coordinated. But it's a good chance to get your reps in.
All right, battle lines have been drawn. High ground to be leveraged. Sentient seized here by Binary. Overextend their welcome Sonic seduction.
The high ground is going to be used there because that's one thing that FaZe haven't done is just this more sitting pretty, bunkering themselves in potentially. So Alcatraz, they can start moving up a bit by bit, like piece by piece. They can find themselves in a nice checkmate. Tank with Prison going to be used, but it's the dive of the backline with poetry in motion. When Alcatraz look good, they look really good with how this plays. And FaZe, it really has just been a case of like losing that first point so quickly might have put them more in a predicament and made this look a little bit more in favor of Alcatraz on this attempt.
Managed to weave it past the Aegis here, and then brings up the blocking of multiple walls to stop the remainder of the team from getting mind controlled, removing the LOS. Still Pinkloan gets punished there. The Feast of the Abyss certainly do be feasting now.
Skipping across, just in the back line. It's so hard to follow through with like that flow chart of if they do this, then I do that. Especially when it's that quick from Katia.
Yeah, that's so well drilled. And part of me, Ryan, always like has a... Yeah, that was a great isolation earlier there onto Rosa. Good use of the walls from Kaya. Very intelligent player. Is a well-suited hero for him. That much is for sure. And as Milkboy continues to control the bottom, it's going to be Kaya who plays... who's there by the onward wall being erected in the way of the incoming damage. Oh, Groot just wants to pile on top. FaZe using everything here to try and clear here and now. Ballas won't have a chance to resurrect anybody. The Comet Revival was 10% away, and Maluki, she's just by herself with the Eternal Bomb. No one was going to be able to try and make anything work off the back of it. It's going to be a re-engage coming. Rose has a lot of rage to work for after previous. Oh my god!
He gets him.
Damn, they just held him down and said, hold this nuke, brother. That's disgusting.
The atomic bomb. And we've had, when he was on L9, yeah, it feels like that's just been able to continue. That pivot has been great. But Alcatraz, when they looked so like well drilled on some of these more offensive movements, on this defense, there's been a lot of ultimates for Ballas. He's the golden boy, isn't he? He's finding so much for them.
Yeah, I mean, Kaya actually, I think, found no one with a strangling prison, but it's okay because they still managed to isolate Milkboy, who is CC immune thanks to the time.
Tight chokes as well. It means that any attempt to go like Final Judgment your way through can easily be walled off, or Milkboy can just be set up ready to sort of shield and protect. And Ballas is just ready to sneak in behind, and he has his ultimate.
But he's good. Trying to share out the damage here. Crisis has been hit with a terror kick, so it'll be a lot of damage, but look at that, stacking up inside the dance.
It's not stopping the damage that's been done on the other side from Groot. Rosa is finding so much space, but Alcatraz, the whole plan was to get those ultimates out and have one final fight, less than a minute left. It's all or nothing here.
Time to hold at the top of the stairs, and they're going to be faced with quite the danger zone in front of Crisis, so they're going to...
He's had... They're synergizing so far at pieces and made clear work of them. And it really has been a case of like nobody's found up their ultimates, which is kind of weird from all of the games that we've seen so far today. Like somebody's had an ultimate at this point, but it's both teams are a little bit splintered in their approaches here.
Touch of balance, 40% damage. Attempting to try and share out the dance, but the fight's been delivered here by Crisis. A bit of the damage has been delivered by the Phoenix as well. It's certainly starting to carve through them quickly. FaZe have had to empty the entire armory. The kitchen sink is being deployed here as Oasis is chased down. All of the target focus here from Ballas. It's a perfectly managed area of effect from Dancer. Yeah, there's still Binary here in the back, but without the Psylocke, the frag potential is so much lower. Lindstrom is going to be next to that Guardian shield as well. You can see that was just an absolute monster in the back, cleaving through everybody as well as delivers with the fate of both roles deployed.
More of a case now, like he's still struggling to actually take the point back from Alcatraz. He now has a little bit more leeway. Binary's able to just take some of the heat, but the Global Hulk is good. You definitely want to get away from FaZe.
Okay, Binary had a little bit of a
start like you did on your attack when you can get around to it. Not really needed to look too much in the sky. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like Visible Women today, but now it seems to be the most ripe time. Everybody else grouped up to just have.
Once again by the strangling prison of the groups, noting where King's Line was hiding away. There's going to be still plenty of healing. As the dance floors of our favourite both worlds are going to be brought on. And they tend to try and cut off that healing as well with the metallic curtain in towards the back. They need to try and force the reset here. Where are the strands just gone up back? Yes, but they don't really have the bulk to keep this point contested. It's going to be down to Kaya. Maluki decides not to place herself within the invisible boundary for now, but Crisis Healbot's going to bring up their own here, and that means the remainder of Alcantara have to move on forward to try and keep Kaya healed up. Rose continually drags up to these walls, and Morvalis maybe making a fuss in the back here with their ultimate, and there's a Cordial as well. They still haven't contested the point, and so the cart's just moving right.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we saw a little bit on Central. Now that you've got Meteor M and stuff, if things get a little bit more uncomfortable, you've got a fate of both worlds that can keep you alive on both sides. But an entangling prison for Rosa, it could be feast or famine, and it's really going to be the thing of whether that synergizes with the Magneto ultimate. That's a hell of a point, but also the Kraken's impact.
Unbelievable wild and quick right there. By the Trooper's Fist, it's great combos of control here onto the usually evasive Captain America, and Crisis takes it upon himself to chase down the rascal. The Rapscallion is arrested, and that's going to be yet another pull coming through. Milk Boy gets isolated. They can't make it around the walls in time, even with the fate of both worlds. What construction here by Rosa. 4 players dragged on in, and the wall gets it done again. Literally channeling the
again. When things get a little bit more chaotic, some of the songs that they're trying to play, these symphonies, turn into a little bit jazz. And I think FaZe just seem to be the ones that are better at playing it currently. It seems to be the 6 players all combining, writhing in the chaos. Katsuya on through. And Alcantara, they were the ones that started that fight with the invisible boundary. They tried to get aggressive, and FaZe used it as an opportunity to go for that. Hanged in prison, and follow-up is always there. Even through the fate of both worlds, it's still enough to get those breakpoints just smashed through. It's here again, like Alcantara want to be the ones to strike the fight. So much value has been won off that alone, I think, on FaZe.
Yeah, just like unbelievable levels of value. Alcantara, it seems like they were kind of on the back foot instantly from first. They got a little bit of stability on second, and occasionally they could but of course they've got their own attack to deal with first. Rosa just goes for a quick disengage, and Rosa's walls so far have been absolutely brutal when it comes to trading in the strategist stealth economy. It feels like it's been so much more difficult for Lindstrom to get value out of a Fate of Both Worlds. Probably one of the strongest ultimates in the game because of those walls. I say it's right now, Crisis going to be forced to fly away, a hot drop into the back. Leolash just doing their best to ward away Kaya.
He's just taking him head on straight away.
I'd win. Ultimate to think about. Kaya really needs some value out of a strangling prison. Alcantara are in a position where they have the resources to make this work, but if they can't convert on this fight, it might well be curtains for all of Symbiotic Surface. An emergency bubble given over to Crisis, let them play with a little bit more audacity. And once again, we're going to have to be dealing with the walls here to try and get value out of Lindstrom's ultimate. Instead, they cover the disengage. That's going to be a huge strangling prison. And as well, the Kraken impact on top of it. Easy resets. A quick self-resurrection from Leolaz. The numbers game has been somewhat okay, forces out the Fate of Both Worlds in response. Revalus is a fairly good trade. No stuns delivered here by Kaya. Must not have been blocked out, potentially forced away, but it's not like a force that's coming through from one of the invisible women. Crisis for now just being given this additional shielding coming through from the invisible woman. Looking over towards Tilt, getting rid of
seconds for Alcantara to try and fight this, and Supernova right at the portal forces them to go the other side.
All right, a pivot around to try and get that first touch. Ballast taken down already. FaZe a low. And Alcantara they're low on members. Kaya once again can't get anything off of the ultimate. Another push, another denial of the Eye of Agamotto. It stays closed for now. And as he reigns above it all, yeah, there's a galactic legend which is being told, but unfortunately it hasn't sold very.
Something seems to be missing. But domination and the fights are just so good that Alcantara forced to completely give things up. And it's a great fight for FaZe to take because you get the point pretty much for free and you're able to just chain these eliminations together, stall out Alcancea more, but most importantly, you're very, very close to having that Horn of Proteus for Crisis and plenty of areas to throw it out as Alcancea are stuck in these chokes. That's why they're starting to split apart. They don't all want to get caught by it. On Celestial Husk, despite the fact that we didn't see too much of it, he's so good at just taking some of the strain, right? Crisis gets so low and he's forced to use his invulnerable, his shift. Binary's instantly in to peel for him, to take some of the heat to battle, and now he has his ultimate. He can go a little bit further if he wants. He'll have some of the backup and the force back with that Soul Resurgence, and hell, even Jeff can grab him and get him out of the fight if he needs to.
All right, Binary already stunned for now, taking
getting on the point. And like that's got to be frustrating because you try to work out the answer and then you just make things worse for yourself in the end. It means a FaZe pretty much 100% to 0 on that first point, and Alcancea on the rocks.
My daughter's convinced me to invite you to the gala.
Oh, it is certainly looking a little bit rough right now. Vasai will be good to go. Maluki's just going to have to erect it around the remainder of the team, and it keeps Kaya safe while they are just seduced by EMEA for now. Binary playing around the outside. Indestructible Guard is used for a little bit of additional sustainability, and Crisis ready to move on in with the Horn of Proteus. Sees the strategist, but instead crushes Ballas underfoot, and Ballas crushed underneath the force of a 1,000-ton whale. Giganto reigns once more over Krakoa, and Namor has firmly cemented his positions back into this. Binary's just smacking away. POV, you've just installed Minecraft for the first time, and you're breaking down a tree with your raw fist.
It's just back to caveman, back to monkey, and FaZe. It's
good view over the remainder of the point. Still, Ballas almost has the Horn of Proteus. Needs just a couple of percentage points more and is able to grab it. That's going to be Leola's down first. Can they get themselves a second? Wants to try and take down Maluna Snow. It's now or never for Alcancea, or their run in the lower bracket. In
no pressure at all. It was a bus route rotation to get from one set of players to the other, but nobody from Alcancea was putting any of the strategists under pressure up until they got that pick onto, I think it would have been Leola's. Just gets caught out alone, and it was the Namor.
He's so nasty. He's such a bully when it comes to the mechanics, and Leolas is no slouch either. 2 Vanguards sent elsewhere. You could tell earlier from the usage of the Agamotto that there was going to be no Cloak of Levitation available for Ballas because they would have used it to launch that ultimate previously, and that's going to be FaZe walking away through.
It was just of individuals from various rosters in